Hello, welcome back to Midnight Mike's Backyard Shop. I'm going to continue working on the welding table, and so far I've just basically got the bottom ready to go, but it's not quite done yet. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm going to finish working on that, getting the expanded metal welded to the rebar, and possibly working on the legs. I know that was my plan, was to work on the legs next, so that's what I'm going to do. Stay tuned. Got to grind all this rust off of here so the welds will take. I find that a steel wire brush works pretty good for this on a drill. All right, that probably, I got decent metal there to work with. I bet you I can make it work. All right. Turn on the air compressor. Might kick on. Blow some dust off. Here goes. That'll probably be pretty good. Put this on this side. Yep, I think I can get that to weld. Grab a vice grip. Oh yeah. Have to turn this back up. All right. Make sure the video is feeding there. Cool. Oh, did you hear that nastiness? I forgot to turn the gas on. What a rookie. That's all right. It's on the bottom. Nobody will even see it. That sounds better. Hear the crunch? That's way more better. Should probably start over here too. Get some over here. Ooh, let that cool for a sec. Run right through it. Yeah, on part one, I I admittedly had the roller way too tight, so I kept bird nesting. But man, it's running pretty smooth right now. So I'll pull you in here, and I can show you what the weld looks like where I wasn't using the gas, where the gas was turned off. It's ugly. I mean, like ugly, ugly. But then all the rest of them look pretty good so far. So once I get done sparking here, I'll pull you in to show you what we got. We continue here. There we go. Ooh, that was bright. My auto dark didn't auto dark. All right. Let's see if I can pull this up the corner here. Uh-oh. I might have bird nested again. That didn't sound good. Nah, we're good. Bent it right there. That's crazy. Look at that. I've never had that happen without a bird nest. I might still have the roller tension a little bit too high. All right. Maybe I should put this clamp over here where I got some good metal and do a little cleaning. Man, these cheapo wire brushes from Harbor Freight are pretty good, and they get into fairly tight spots. This wire brush is also from Harbor Freight, and it comes in like a multi-pack, so it's got different sizes, and it's cheap. And man, I use them quite a bit. I don't have safety glasses on, so I'll do this. Exposes the fresh metal, gets rid of the rust or scale, so you can get a decent weld. There we go. Cool. Maybe I can do that right there too. All right. I'll bring it in so you can see it. All right. You can kind of tell there that I kind of got back into the corner on the backside. This was the gap that was super wide where I use the tomato cage, or the tomato cage wires. Turned out okay. I kind of ground the edges a little bit last time, and I burned through because I had it kind of thin. So I'll fix that up. But you can see I had enough fresh metal there to get in. So that'll be okay. That's going to hold up just fine. All right, we got the table legs here, and I got to cut them apart. I got this flat piece that's like an extension where I honestly don't know for sure what this was. It was just in my yard when I moved in. So to me, it's scrap, and I'm going to use on it. I'm going to use these 4 legs for this welding table, and it's going to be more than heavy enough. It's like 1/4 inch angle. Looks like maybe like 3 by 3, I'm guessing. Couple. This piece down here is quite a bit bigger, so they're not all the same size. I'm curious about that now because that's kind of weird. So this piece is 4 inches by 3-ish, yeah, 3. So we got a couple pieces that are 4, and it looks like that's what the top's made out of, is 3 by 4. 3 by 4 is what the top is made out of, and then these other pieces are not that. They're just 3 by 3, which is awesome. So I'll have one leg that's a little bit different than the others, and that's okay. So I'm going to put my ears on. I've got my grinder is not ready to go, so I got to change that blade out, put a cutting disc on it. There it is. And as I stated in the new direction video, I'm trying to do everything I can on a budget. So I've got this Harbor Freight stuff that I'm using. It's an angle grinder from Harbor Freight. And all the cutting material, like the wheel, is a Hercules cutoff wheel. And that also comes from Harbor Freight. So trying to be budget friendly and do what I can with stuff I have laying around. And I hope you're into that. Maybe you guys and gals, maybe there's lots of junk laying around at your places too. If that's the case, why not upcycle it? Make it into something better than just scrap. I grew up on a farm and we saved all kinds of metal. My grandpa always had piles and piles of metal, like just back behind the barn or sometimes in front of the barn, So I come from a line of people that like to save stuff and use it to make things, make something useful, make something good, make something fun. So that's what I'm going to try to do with this stuff. All right, it's going to get loud. I'll put my ears on, make sure the camera's kind of in that right location. Looks like it. I might even put it a little closer there. All right, so I'm going to cut this off right here first. Here it goes. All right, so when you're using a thin cutoff wheel, it's a good idea to score your cut first. And I could have stopped and showed you what I'm talking about a little better, but I have a weld on the top edge of this that I followed with the cutoff wheel, and I just went right on the side of it. So now, if I want to reuse this piece of angle here, this piece here, I can actually just use a flap disc or a grinder wheel and kind of clean that weld off. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So I scored it all the way down that weld, and I'm all the way through. I just, you just move around, stay with it. And so I'm all the way through that thick piece there, that flat piece that's welded to the angle. Now I got to get these rebar, 2 rebar that I'll cut the welds right there and down there. I might end up just cutting the rebar off and not worrying about the weld right now. I'm probably not going to use the full length of this for the table because I'm going to put this table on casters, and my casters are pretty tall. I'll set this back up and I'll go grab one real quick and show you what I'm thinking here. So my casters are, like I said, they're fairly tall, and when I picked them up off the curb from a guy, he said they were from a medical bed. So as you can see, they're pretty good size. This one's got a sleeve on it, but the other ones don't. So I'm going to have to figure something out with that. Hopefully that's within the shot there. But anyway, they're pretty nice and heavy duty. I'm going to put those on the bottom. So I don't think I need the entire length of this angle to be comfortable, a comfortable work height for this table. So I think the casters are going to go directly to the bottom of the table. So I'm going to pull a measurement real quick, kind of get an idea So if I put this caster right here, that'll put the bottom of the wheel. It's going to be about 14, 13 and a half. I'm just going to say about 13 and a half there. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, 13 and a half. And if my comfort level where I don't have to bend down is about right here, that'll need to be 43. What do we got here? And this is 3 foot. So I think I will just use the entire things. So that's going to be a lot more cutting with this here angle grinder, but that's okay. I'll go ahead and get these rebar cut. You probably can't see. I'm going to move you. A nice view of a bunch of scrap junk. That'll be a decent view. Hopefully my butt's not in the shot too bad. There's that piece. All right. So that's going to be a chore cutting those out. I think I'm going to cut these in half on these lines here, just about in the center of them. I'll mark it. I don't even need to mark it. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I think I'm just going to chop those in half so you can, here, we'll get you in here. And I'm going to get to cutting. I'll be able to use this as support for the top. And I'll put this section down here on the bottom. That'll work. That'll be pretty good. Maybe I will mark it just because I'm a geek like that. So if I've got, oh, cool, it's right at a foot. Nice. I'll use my big scrap nail here to mark 6 inches. That's not 6 inches. That's 6-ish. Is that a 6 inch? Does that need to be 6? Yep. Oh man, 6 inches. That doesn't look like 6 inches. That's way too much. That's a joke. Okay, I made a score. There's a scoring line there that I'm going to follow back and forth, and I'll show it to you real quick. All right. See? That's a scoring line right there. And it's not very deep yet, but that's going to be my path all the way through that piece. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other pieces as well. And we're going to have a decent setup there to weld to the top of the table. And I still got to finish the top of the table, but I'll probably try to take some videos of it too. Here we go. That's not going to show up very good. I'm going to go ahead and do this piece. How many cardboard back here do I? Don't want to catch anything on fire. Oh, speaking of, in part one, I have a lot of gas cans and dumb stuff all over the place. And now I don't. I moved all that stuff, I think. I do have some wax and grease remover and acetone back there. That should be okay. It's not that flammable. Move a little bit here. That'll work. Oh, cool. That's definitely not a straight cut. And I'm okay with that. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to pull this up and over so I can do the cut down now. I don't have to hit the floor. All right, that one's loose. I'll flip this over so I can get this section. This is a heavy piece, but that's okay because I'm a lot bigger than I used to be because my wife's a good cook. All right, here we go. Scoot this over. That's the smidge. Hit that green board back there. Here we go. Well, I had some camera issues last time. I was cutting these bad boys in half, and then I was going to continue and cut them into quarters. And as soon as the half split, they fell on the floor. Well, this side fell on the floor. And I thought, oh, that's funny. I'm going to come check that out on the camera. And so when I went around to check, I had ran out of battery on my phone and it had been off for a little bit. So I kind of did a few things in preparation to continue the video. And I'm going to continue working on the legs. And I also have some tubing that I went and I bought so that I can put the casters on. So I might end up working on welding some of this onto the base of the table so I can put casters on it and it'll roll around a lot better. So that's what I'm going to be working on here still. And I guess I'll get started. I use a different grinder on this edge so I can smooth it up so it'll fit flush on the table. Let's do some cleaning here. And the air compressor might kick on while I'm going. Yeah, that's not going to cut it. Even with a 40 grit disc, that's terrible. This was way faster. Well, I'll clean that off with the different grinder blade disc. I've got a little bit of a lip all the way along here that I got to smooth out so this sits flat on it would be like the opposite end of this. So I just want it to sit flush in there like this as a leg. And right now it'd probably be okay, but I don't really like it. So I'm going to clean it up a little bit before I do that. So there's that one. Now I got to get these cut in half. So we'll have quarters, 4 legs. All right. Score me a line here. That looks about half. All right. Guess there's nothing back there. I think I got rid of all the flammable stuff. Oh, and I put a fire extinguisher kind of close by. It's expired, but it should still work. I hate that. Getting all over the place. Try this. That's going to blow it right in my face. Hey, that worked pretty good. I'll leave that close by. Handy. All right, so this side doesn't have that lip on these two that I was trying to grind on that other. I bet this one I have laying over here has the same lip, but these are pretty much ready other than prepping the edges where they're going to weld. So now you can see I've got 4 legs. They're going to be like this. If I can set this up without it falling off. A lot of weight in one in the corner. So that'll be pretty good. And then I'm going to have a few more inches. My casters are 5 inches, I think they were. So I'll have an additional like 7 inches or so after it's all said and done, I think. So that's kind of neat. Those are done. I've got a little bit of welding in that corner that I'm going to do. I can zoom us in on that. Get this thing cleared off because it's about ready to flip over and start putting the caster tubing on. That's been a nice little grinder so far. Haven't burned up the brushes yet. Turn this up. Check to make sure the video's still taking. Let's reset it up. Oh yeah. All right, I got you in there. I'm just going to do a little bit more work right here in this corner where I kind of ground it too thin and then melted it out. We'll get the welder going here. Turn on the gas. The fan motor on that's just fantastic. Fantastic. Came right out. That's nice. I guess it doesn't like my jokes either. Fantastic. Pun intended. All right, let's see what we got. Whoa. That's better looking than a hole. Cool. That was the body shop in me, trying to quench the metal down a little. Doesn't matter too much here, but when you're working with thin metal, it's kind of nice to cool it down so it doesn't warp and do all kinds of weird stuff. I'm going to hit this hole right here. Maybe I'm not. Eh, I might have stuck that right in it, actually. Cool. I think that's all I'm going to do. I just wanted to build that up a little more. So originally that was that giant gap that I filled with pieces of tomato cage wire. And now it's nice and solid and full. And I'll show you the back side of it here in just a second. I might clean it up a little bit with a brush. Pull this out. Nice little piece of wire that I, didn't get stuck on there. It's pretty good. Show you the back side here. So there's no more gap. The burn through is, I've got quite a bit of penetration and build up on the backside. I think I even ran a bead up the backside, and that's what melted through last time. So no big deal. Oh, sorry about that. No big deal. All right, I'm probably gonna flip it over and I need to cut the tubing because it's not the right length. I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to make straight cuts on that. I might use a Sawzall in my vise. I don't know that I'll record that part, but I need to figure out the measurements on those. Let me get you flipped around here. Flip that table over anyway, and see you in just a sec. All right, got it flipped over here. Do a little prep for the pipe. Turn that gas off. All right. Here's one of my casters. I can't remember if I was even remotely close. Huh. I said 5 inches. The caster itself, the wheel, I mean, is 8 inches. So I got a good foot that thing's going to be sitting down in the tubing. So from the bottom of this, put this tubing on here. I need to cut that down, obviously. So get these bolts out. This bolt here. Set it here to forget forever. So that fits pretty good. It's not super tight, but that's okay. It's going to be supported by all the weight and a bolt through it. So I think I'll leave, what we got there? That's 2 inches. So there's a washer on top of that this can ride on. I think I'll do that. I think I'll just make it right at maybe like 2 1/8 is where I'll mark it. Or I can just mark it with that shaft coming out of the caster. I think I'll do that. Let's do that. You know, that's going to be a super exact cut. Not. But that's okay. What do I have there? Probably 2 1/8. Oh, come on now. Yep. If I put my blade right on the hash mark, it's 2 1/8 on the far side of the mark. So I'll do that. I need to put this thing, I need to clamp it down. I think these vice grips might work pretty decent for that. Maybe. All right. That's probably not going to stay, but I'm going to try. See how straight I can make it. Probably not going to be that straight. Got to get my ears. Wonder if I'm going to use my sissy dustpan again to keep the sparks off of me. Probably not. All right, here we go. I think that's going to work. I'll try to keep it as perpendicular as I can. See if I can make a decent cut. I wonder if I ought to use a Sawzall because I can see it better, not have sparks blowing at me. I'll try that. I've got one here. I should just do that. Get a decent metal blade here. Like an extreme metal. That one's medium metal. I think that one might be. I don't know. It's kind of burned up. I should use it. What's this one? Another medium metal. I'm just going to do that. See how it works. So these things are pretty handy. Got the quick release blade lock, which is nice. I don't use it all that often for metal stuff anymore. Brought it home and started using it on at-home DIY stuff. I don't know if you watched one of the last videos I posted, but I tore up my pergola with it pretty quick. That was nice. It worked fast for that. A lot faster than me. All right, I got a score line here, so see if this knocks itself off. That score line did nothing for me. Yeah. That's okay. It's a lot cooler than if I would have used my grinder. That cut's okay. I mean, it's not perfect, but that's all right. It's going to be just fine for this, and I got plenty of space there. It's going to sit on top of that washer. It should be pretty good. Trying to figure out the bolt hole is going to be a tricky part, maybe. Nope, I'll just do that. Then eyeball it and make it bigger. Just try to go straight through on that. Just happen to have a drill laying over here, but no drill bits. Drill bits over here. Let's see. That one looks sharp. 17/64. Let's just step up from a 1/4 inch. That's probably, see, I laid that bolt over here somewhere. Oh, that'll just work. Cool. See if I can clamp this. Man, I could probably get another one out of that. I wasn't sure how many I'd get out of it, but that's pretty good. I think I'll mark that. Be able to take another one off. Sweet. Put that right there. How did I have this set up? Here, I'll show you on this side. I'll put it like this so you can kind of see how I've got it set up. I'll even bring you in so you can see what I'm dealing with here. All right. So I've got my little dot that's probably pretty hard to see right there. So I'll be running that in so I can put a bolt through this right here after I slide that. Well, I'll slide, this into here. And this is going to be welded to the corner. So this is the bottom side of the table. The casters are going to sit on that. And it's going to roll fantastic. this set back up again. Okay. See if I can make a hole all the way through. I should punch it with the punch. Pretty sure I have one handy. There we go. Probably knock it loose out of the vice grip. Set this over here. That's all right. Okay, that might work. Nope, I need a smaller bit. Find that punch. Should have known better. Come on. That 1/8 inch looks like it'll work. This old Milwaukee 18-volt battery is going to die on me, so I'll just do the 1/8 inch hole with it. And I'll get this real fancy Bauer unit from Harbor Freight to do the heavy drilling. It's a pretty nice drill too. All right, where's that punch line? Punch line. Oh, it almost didn't make it. Those batteries are so worn out. How much is left on this one? This one's pretty good. All right, I'm going to try. I hope I'm straight here. Oh, don't wobble on me. It feels like it might have went straight through. The test is going to be putting in the caster and seeing if it'll line up. It probably won't, and that's okay. I'll just waller it out until it fits. I'm pretty good at that. Must have been this way. Oh man, we're so close. If I grind this down a little bit, it'll work. And I got room to do that, so that's good. Plus, I'm going to deburr it by doing this. I need to buy a rattle can of that 2K epoxy primer. That stuff's so nice. The good thing about this is I'll have access through this, so I can actually prime this later. So that's going to fit perfect. That's nice. That's going to have a nice patch to sit on. That's going to be easy to weld. Let's see. Oh, heck yeah, that's way better. Try it this way. That's where my issue is. I'm just off just a little bit on one side. So I'll waller this side out. How did I have that on? Look like this. All right, wallering this side. All right, so what I was doing there, when I waller that around, it makes the hole bigger. So hopefully it'll give me enough clearance for that bolt to go through, and I'm darn close. I might actually just oversize this side. I think I'm going to do that. Because wallering, this is so thick that it didn't waller completely. It kind of just put like there's a peak in the center of the hole through the material because it's so thick. Wallering works really good for thin sheet metal. Let's see. That one's going to be plenty big. Get her cinched back up. There we go. All right, that's going to fit. Awesome, that'll work. Bring you in and show you. I'll bring this in and show you. So, oh wow. Yeah, there you go. So you can kind of see through there where that's working. And I oversized this side so it would line up. There we go. I don't know if you can see that, but it's pretty good. That bolt's going to go through and it's going to be just fine. Oh, and you can see I got about 1/8 of an inch for the weld to take. So when I fill this up like around the edge with weld, it's probably going to penetrate through, and I didn't want the weld to interfere with the hole. So that's why I left 1/8 of an inch where I'm going to be welding it to the table. So I just got to verify that I'm putting the correct side down. Wouldn't that be funny? If I weld, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if I don't weld the correct side, see I got the hole right there. If I flip this over, it doesn't fit. So me being me, I'd probably weld the wrong side, and we could all have a nice laugh about that. And I'd be cutting it back apart, or I guess making the holes even bigger. I don't want to have to do that. So I'm going to take a marker and pinpoint which side I need to weld. I think I'll just clean up the edge real good that needs to be welded. Bevel it maybe. That's taking forever. This thing's slow. Use that other grinder. I'm just going real slow right here. I'm not trying to drill into my hand. I'm just deburring. Try to knock all the burrs off of this and then the inside there. Try to clean it up a little bit. And then I beveled this edge a little bit. Probably not enough, but I think it's going to be okay. If I change my grinder disc, put like more of a grinding disc instead of a cutting disc on it, I could probably get a better bevel. That's going to sit like that and be one of the pieces of tubing for the caster. So the caster will be just like this in this tubing here. So that's going to be pretty awesome. So I've got at least one of these casters has a brake. I think two of them do. So that'll be nice. These are nice heavy casters. So that one's going to be fit to this corner. So that's another thing I want to make sure is keeping these together, I think is going to be important. So I'll put the bolt that I have back through it. That way they stay together. Yeah, heck yeah, that's perfect. See? That's nice. That bolt fits pretty good. That'll be good. So there's one down. Have to find another caster over here. Hey, this one's already got a piece of metal. I'm not going to use it though. I'm going to make another one so they're all the same. And then here's the two that have the brakes. And man, they're dirty. Been in a tote for a long time. So the brake functions pretty good. That's kind of a neat system. So it's got, you know, this metal arm. You hit the brake, that I'm sure it'll go a little further if I was using my foot. Since I'm just using my hand, it's kind of wimpy. But that'll stop the metal table from rolling around. That's nice. These are a great score. Free 99. Curb find. Okay. So let's go ahead and get this junk off of this one. Hopefully how about I just do one that's loose? I think I'll take you through one more of these, and then I'll probably do the rest off camera. You know, the cutting and the grinding and the nonsense. So got a mark on that one, and that's going to be too short that way. That way it's just a smidge too long. So I'll keep that in mind. Get my grinder set up. Oh man, I can only use one finger on this now. Great. Yeah, that's probably going to slide off of there. Wonder if, I got plenty on that one. Now see how this works out. I'm worried it's going to get knocked off of here. And I think I needed to be on this side of the mark. Better check. Yep. Pretty far on that side. I need like 2 blade lengths. Man, it doesn't seem right. Yeah, that's not right. I just need 1 blade length. Go right on it. On this side of it. Oh no, it's moving on me. Damn it. Okay, I got through it. Man, that sucks. It moved on me. That Sawzall is definitely going to make it move. But I'm just going to tighten it up and see if I can make it better. Man, I can almost do that. See if I can pinch it. That's a lot tighter, but might not be tight enough. Come on, man. It worked. Might not be the straightest cut, but it's cut. It's definitely not the straightest cut. That's okay. Hopefully, I can smooth it up a little bit. I got plenty of space to smooth it up. I'll do that. It's not bad. Here, I'll show you before I start. That's a pretty decent, I don't know if you can see it very well. Pretty decent cut. See, there's a little bit of a lip I got to take off. And then this was the other side. You can see where my Sawzall had it all rough right there. But that's a pretty decent cut on that side too. We're doing it freehand. Just kind of smooth them up. This side's worse. It's the side that got tilted on me. And it's kind of not very straight at all. That's pretty decent. Pretty decent. I mean, it's hard for you to tell on the camera, I'm pretty sure, but not bad. All right, so I'll do two more of those and get the holes drilled and get them beveled and probably bring you back in for the welding process. All right, so I've got the first pipe clamped up here with the C-clamp, and I thought I'd try to bring you in for the welding process. I've beveled the edges. Here, I'll show you on this one. So I've got the edges beveled and cleaned up to where the penetration will get deeper. So that's how that one in the far corner there is. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the welder and get going on it. We'll make a few tacks first, so it doesn't try to pull itself one way or the other. Got to get closer. Can't go too far with the welder. Kind of tied down with the plug-in. Drape it over here. Get another tack on this side. Get one over here. And one over here. See how stuck that is, and I'll show you what we got. Pretty stuck. Put the caster that I'm going to use from this side. It's right here. Oh yeah, that's going to be awesome. Here we go. All right, that's going to work. I think I'll take this out and burn that baby in. Let's see here. Try to think of the best way for you to see. I'll pull from this way. That baby is hot. But, of course, all my decent looking welds are going to be on the inside bottom, so you'll never see them. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Perfect. Just going to pop this phone out of here real quick. All right. Baby is smoking. I mean, it's not like perfect welds, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good for not having leather gloves on and steadying myself. Didn't really steady myself, so pretty happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and get the others burned on like that, and I'll show you the aftermath. Maybe I'll actually let it play out while I do it. All right. Verify. Yep. Get it clamped. This is like, I'm just using my micrometer here. Eyeball it. And that'll be fine. I'm putting my bolts through this way. So I need to give this one a twist here. That'll work. Hope I don't catch any of this stuff on fire. All right. Bring my... All right, here we go. Tack. Tack. Cool. I'm going to actually leave this here so I can steady my hand a little bit. That's not bad. Fire check. Is that me burning? Might be. That's all right. Have you ever really lived if you haven't been on fire at least once? I've been on fire a couple times. It's not fun. It's like instant panic. Terrifying. Cool, man. That one looks way better than the first one. And it looks okay. I'm okay with it. I'm definitely not grabbing this washer. Let's see. Let's go to this side next. Man, I'll try real hard not to put my butt crack in the video. It's probably going to happen. Oh, my wife's a good cook. And I've really gotten fat in my later years here. I say later like I'm old. I'm pretty old. Is that even hot? Pretty warm. It's not terrible. Okay, so this side is going to be a little bit tighter. And that's all right. Oh, dang it. I have to move my clamp here. Put it over here. I might put it on the far side. Well, shoot. I don't have good metal there. Good clean metal. This side will work. Have decent metal there. That'll work. All right, pull my pants up. Tack. So close to you. You were making a weird noise. Am I burning you up, buddy? Don't want to do that. Man, my helmet's not working. Blind. Hope I don't give myself a sunburn on my eyeballs. My helmet's needing charged, I think. That looks pretty decent. Really got time on me. Dude, that's sweet. Looks awesome. Getting tired. Midnight Mike. It's probably not midnight, but it's definitely dark out. Okay, that's the side that needs to go down. Just like this. I'll move this guy again. All right. This is going to be the last weld of the night. And I'll show you what we got. I'll tack it and take this off again, like I did on the first one. Get tacky. Tack. So right here, my microphone battery died. So I'm just going to do a voiceover for the remainder of the video. I'm just tacking this piece of tubing in for my caster, and this is the last piece of tubing that I had to tack in place. And by then, I was feeling pretty tired, so I had gotten kind of goofy. I'm always goofy, but I had gotten a little more goofy as the video progressed here. So I'm trying to learn to deal with these technical difficulties, and I think as I learn and grow, we'll probably have less of these problems. I will say the welder was running pretty good for this, and that's good. I guess I'm just checking my video here. I'm gonna zoom in and get you guys closer to see the arc a little bit better, it looks like. It's been several days since I did this, so I'm trying to do a voiceover to kind of remember exactly what I was doing. You can kind of see the legs there off to the left laying down. Yeah, it looks like I was just pulling you guys in to get you a little closer. Make the weld burn your eyeballs like it was burning mine because my helmet kept not working. I will say I didn't really have an issue the next day. My arms were noticeably red, where I had gotten a little sun. And by sun, I mean a sunburn from the welder, but it tans out. It's no big deal. I didn't do enough to really cause a terrible issue. I did mount those casters to make sure they fit, and they all four fit perfect. And I went ahead and bought some lock washers for the bolts so I wouldn't have an issue with them coming loose. And I think when I do put them in after I put a little bit of epoxy primer on that stuff, I think I'll put some red Loctite on the threads of the bolt so they have a lock washer and some Loctite. Just keep them in place. They're on the bottom, and I don't want to have to mess with them if I don't have to. So if I Loctite them in place, that's going to be good. And I'm pretty pleased with how the bottom of the table has turned out. And I'm looking forward to duplicating the top and getting the legs welded on. Looks pretty good. It's all bare metal though, so I'm going to need to get some epoxy primer on that. And the welds seem to have good penetration into the tubing and into the table with that angle iron. And all four of them turned out pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with the way the little welder worked. For a 110 machine, it's not bad. It's pretty fun to weld this thicker stuff with it. It'll be fun to do some more projects on this table. I'm really looking forward to using it. Kind of a wide shot here. You can kind of see what I'm working with. Well, I guess I'm probably going to be talking about a conclusion here. I wish my microphone would have worked. I don't remember anything of what I said. Probably something like, thanks a lot for joining me on this part 2 video. Please like and subscribe. Share it with your friends who might like welding projects. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I'll do my best to get back to them. And thanks a lot for tuning in to Midnight Mike's Backyard Shop, and stay tuned for the next video. Part 3. I think that's going to cover the legs going in and possibly parts of the tabletop. Thanks a lot.